Hey, what's up? Dave Delgado for In the Zone. We're here at Custom Fitness. I'm with the champ, Roque Martinez. Now, coming off a split decision loss in your last fight in Japan, a fight where you broke your hand early in the fight.
Oh yeah, man. Unfortunately, I had an injury, but of course, no excuses. I thought I should have won, um, and should have did better. But man, I'm back in the gym working now. Gotta get better.
Now, you said you watched the video and breaking your hand, hitting the top of your opponent's head came like in the first 14 seconds of the fight.
Yeah, when I rewatched it, I wanted to see exactly what happened, and yeah, sure enough, it was the first right that I actually landed on the top of his head. Um, so yeah, that's what happened there.
Fight went into the third round. You had a big takedown, controlled most of the round. I mean, you had position on him, raining down with some shots, and really looking to try to finish. But I mean, give it up to your opponent. Very tough guy, hung in there. And did you feel that you had that fight in the bag and you did enough to pull off that win?
Man, I felt like I did enough in the fight, but I put such a heavy emphasis on finishing your opponent that so that these things don't happen. So I mean, I can't blame the judges. That's all on me. I felt I won, but you got to get those finishes, man. That's super important.
Finding out you broke your hand, surgery was 2 weeks later, but right after touching down back at home, you were almost immediately right back in the gym.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to say I flew in on a Monday. I took off Tuesday. I didn't do anything all day Tuesday, but I was back to hitting the bag on Wednesday, and then from there I pretty much kept consistent on keeping at least my cardio up, working my jabs, my left hand, a lot of other stuff. There's so many things you can work with without your one hand, so I'm working on all those, and also strengthening up my left hand.
And this isn't the first time you broke your hand. Is this the same hand you broke before?
Yeah, this is the second time I've had surgery on my right hand. But it could be a blessing in disguise, man. Like now I get to really work on the left, like I said, and hopefully make it catch up to the right.
Now we've seen your posts, your pictures, your videos. Still have the pins in your hand. When you're looking at getting those out?
So if everything goes well on my next appointment in about a little less than 2 weeks, if the bone's healing well, then they'll just go ahead and pull the pins out, and I could go ahead and start my rehab and stuff like that.
And let's talk about being back in the gym. I mean, you're one of those guys that you don't believe in days off. It's a constant grind for you and just always trying to get better. I mean, for a heavyweight guy, your mindset and your conditioning is on a whole nother level.
Yeah, man. I can't emphasize it enough. Like how much hard work just pays off. And another thing is, I put so much work into getting where I was for that last fight. So me taking a break and having to work back to that again it's a big deal for me. So that's why I'm trying to kind of at least keep it close to consistent as I was before this fight, but just not let myself get out of control and out of shape.
And let's talk about a little bit of what you're going to be doing today. I know you can't really hit with the right, but what's training like for you today?
So we start out with about 30 minutes of some light rounds, just a lot of movements. I'll be using my left hand, obviously. And then right after that, we'll go into more of our technical training, our cardio, and working our techniques for the boxing class.
All right, we're going to let Roque get into his workout. We're going to talk to Mike Tyron, one of the guys that always in his corner when he fights out in Japan. And we're going to be talking to you about just being a corner man, getting Roque ready for fight camp. And how important is communication for the team out in Japan when you guys are in a fight?
Oh, it's very important. But with Roque, it hasn't been really a problem. He's the one that's always on top of it. He's always talking to us. So we just throw out, if we see something, we'll just say combinations or what. But as for communication, there's not really a problem with Roque. He's really sharp on that. So.
And it must be a blessing to be fighting in Japan because the crowd's definitely silent. You're able to communicate. He's able to listen because I'm sure when you guys call something out, he's looking back at you guys and making sure that he hears and understands what you're trying to tell him.
Exactly. And there's even times where he'll come out and say stuff like, what's the time? He's doing certain things, and he'll look at us, and we'll yell it out at him, and he's like, "Yeah, I know." So when it comes to those things, it's really a blessing to have him to corner him because he he really listens. He's a veteran in there, so it's not really a problem when it comes to cornering him.
And when it comes to heavyweight fighters, Roki's never short on gas, and I think that's another thing too, that not necessarily having to focus and really push a fighter for conditioning and just mainly just work on the tools of the game and making sure that he's on point heading into his fight.
Yeah, he's really dedicated. He'll do his sparring rounds here, but in the mornings he's got his training. He does his cardio. He does whatever he needs to do. So he does what champs need to do. So he's there. He's doing what he needs to do.
And watching that fight, I know you didn't make it out to Japan, his last fight, but looking at the fight video, do you think that he won that fight?
Yes, definitely. Especially the last round when he got that takedown, I thought that was his fight. He took him down. He ground and pound. I was like, okay, this is it. But I guess that's how it goes when it goes to the judges. Sometimes they don't see it that way. So.
And when you guys are helping Roque get ready for a fight, I know the game plan is always different for every opponent, but for a guy like Roque, what are some of the things that you really try to emphasize on heading into fight?
Roque is pretty much well-rounded, so if we see that a guy is, he likes to stand up, or if he likes to go to the ground, we kind of just throw stuff at him and say, hey, maybe you should do this, you should do that. But Roque, he already knows what he needs to do, so if it's stand up, he's got it. If it's on the ground, he's got it as well. So it's just sharpening his technique and getting that cardio in. That's what's really important.
Well, let me pull Rob Wistick, and you're a lighter guy who also helps Roque get ready for a fight. But what's your job when Roque's in fight camp and you're here training alongside him, getting him ready for a fight?
I'm here just to try to make him work movement. Work his speed and his agility work, because I'm faster and lighter, so it helps him out because it's not that much heavy weights to help him out for his fight, so I try to do my best to help him out.
And how is it training with the heavyweight? I mean, I'm sure it's pretty intimidating sometimes, and you definitely got to keep the distance and really trying to work him and just use, like you said, your speed, trying to focus and help him get his technique down, whether it be throwing leg kicks so he knows when to pick his leg up and block it, but just getting him ready. What's that like in fight camp when, Roque's locked in, getting ready for his opponents?
Man, it helps him a lot, because I like to jab a lot, so it helps him move his head a lot and try to, circle out and try to get coming closer. So, and then the kicks too as well, he knows how to counter quick too. So it's he's pretty fast for heavyweight too, so it helps out.
And watching his fight, kind of break down what you saw in that fight. I mean, obviously, most of everyone that saw the fight felt like Roque had it in the bag, but looking at the fight itself, what did you think about that fight and how things played out for Roque his last fight?
Man, he just, he broke his hand in the first round, so kind of messed up his game plan, but at the same time he had heart, he showed heart of a champion, and then, I felt like he won by, a close decision, but, can't really take it to decision, but, he'll come back stronger,
Yeah, and it says a lot for him, didn't take too much time off. He said after coming back home, took a day off and just came right back in the gym. I mean, were you surprised that, hey, man, what you doing here, man? Your hands, bro. You should be at home resting.
No, I'm not surprised, because that's Roque, man. He's always been like that. He's always pushing himself to the limit, So that's that's how it is, when you're a fighter, you got to keep coming, after a loss like that, that we felt like he won, So it's he wants to come in there, stronger, faster, and, better he can,
And, being a fighter yourself, how inspiring is that for you to see Roque out there on a big stage doing his thing and still, like you said, constantly grinding and never really taking time off from the gym and just always ready to put in that work?
And that's why I like working with him, man. He's one of the, the calmest guys, and he helps you out a lot too, especially for his fight and then our fights too, he comes in, helps out, even if he's injured, he comes in hard, man. So it helps out and it inspires us to push harder ourselves too,
And what's up for you in the fight game?
Man, I'm just trying to get a fight in, and I'm just training to stay in shape, and hopefully November in Saipan. You know, Cookie said in November, fighting for the 145 belt too. So hopefully I can get that back. You know.
All right, let's wrap it up with Roque one more time. Has some rounds in, and some promoters didn't really know how bad the injury was. They were already knocking at the door, hitting you up, trying to say, hey, what does the timetable look like for a turnaround fight for you?
Man, for me, I'm hoping to get back in there and maybe by October already. The doctor said maybe 10 to 12 weeks after the surgery, I should be able to start punching go ahead and full speed again. So that puts me around end of September or October. So like I said, I'm just trying to keep in shape so that when the time comes, I'll be ready.
And for you, is there an organization in mind? I know you said you're locked in with Ryzen for another couple fights.
No, actually, that was my last fight with Ryzen. But we could re-sign with them or somewhere else. All depends. So once I get a more specific date after this next doctor's appointment, I'll be able to kind of let people know what event I can fight in. So, but yeah, I'm shooting for as early as October.
And the fans of Japan have been really supportive of you after the fight. You said some people reached out to you and gave their thoughts on the fight. And what else have they kind of said to you or messaged you in your social media platforms?
I think the thing that they see about me and that they really enjoy is the fact that, man, I just like to go there and fight. I don't, I feel like I want to entertain them, and I can tell that they notice that. So they'll reach out to me often, and they'll just tell me that no matter what, they're still going to be my fan just because they like my style. They like that I like to bring the fight. Even though I broke my hand, I was still pressing forward the whole time. So and the thing is that they respect that, and I really appreciate that from them.
Was there any talk after the fight? Was there a press conference where you're able to talk to your opponent and just get to, even just talk about the fight with him or break anything down?
Well, actually, the funny thing is, right after the fight, everyone has to go through a doctor check. So of course we finished and we both went to the doctor, and we were both right next to each other. We were both getting our eyes stitched up. So he's actually a pretty cool guy. He's a good fighter, and we talked a little bit. But in my eyes too, I'm hoping that maybe Ryzen and him would like to run that back. Just not only because it was close, and also I feel if I go in there fully prepared, I can definitely win that fight.
So without anything set in stone, what are you going to do now for the time being? Is it just training, making sure you're right, and once that hand heals up, you're ready to take a fight on?
Yeah, I'm training like I'm in fight camp. Of course, I just can't use the right hand, but everything I'm doing now is like a fight camp. I still do my conditioning, everything, my technique and all that. So once I get that official call or wherever I fight, I'm gonna be ready to take the fight.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate you taking your time out from training camp. For Roque Martinez, Dave Delgado in the zone. Don't forget to catch us every Thursday on KUAM's Facebook page live.